my dreams of her now are, like I know, I'm conscious in my dream that my time with her is limited. So I'm trying to like just embrace everything about that time in my dream with her, just enjoying, hearing her, and I can still hear her.
It's never like that I'm gonna die. Like, life could end. Like, these things that, we take for granted, these moments together could just stop. And when you're young, period, whether you're in the military or not, you're just like, I'm invincible and I can do anything. And then you realize you can't. I got a phone call at like 2 in the morning from a friend, drunk, and he's like, Casey died. And I was like instantly angry, right? I was like, don't call me like with bullshit. And it's like this dread, right? Like,
what do I do with this information? Like I just talked to her like maybe 3 days ago. So I was just like, this can't be real.
I got home about midnight, and about 2 hours later, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard
someone pounding at my door. And then I see 2 uniformed personnel there.
And opened the door and knew immediately.
Asked to sell my textbooks. This child, first of all, I'm just glad that she was safe because this child was on Craigslist, advertising everything and setting up meetings with grown people. And so I remember the one day she was selling her old games, and so she had set up a meeting so that we can go meet this person at Walmart, And so we drove to the Walmart, the 2 of us. Thank goodness, we were safe, Thank goodness, it wasn't like some crazy person, But, we got there. She made her little transaction.
Casey and I were both born in Laguna Hills, California. Both of our parents were Marines. They were stationed out there, and then when my dad finished with his contract, we moved to Philly because that's where he's from. So we moved there in '96 during the blizzard of '96. So that was my intro into Philly.
Born in God's country, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was raised in Philly, right outside in Bensalem. My thing with Philly is it's such a great walking city, like New York, Boston, those tight, compact cities.
Growing up in Philly was fun. We grew up in row homes, they're called in Philly, so everything's attached and you have like sections of them. I don't know, Philly was fun. Growing up in Philly was fun.
I mean, it was just another city in the Northeast, to me. Once you've been in one, you've been in all of them.
Casey and I were like tomboys, so we were always outside running around with our friends in the neighborhood, riding our bikes, throwing football around.
The Eagles are a religion. So I instilled that in my girls. You know, we used to, like, both my girls know how to throw a football. And we used to sit in the cul-de-sac and throw a football. They used to watch me throw tantrums watching the game, so it was like a big deal.
She was usually the one, like, being the bratty little sister to Maya, you know, and always messing with her and stuff sometimes. But whenever they would get really mad at each other, I would not allow them to be mad at each other. One time, we punished them because they were, like, having a little spat. We punished them by making them both sit in a chair and hug each other, and they couldn't let go. That was their punishment. And so eventually they both ended up laughing, you know, because they just, I guess, felt so silly just sitting there doing that.
If Casey was my first child, I'd only have one child. Casey was wild. She was just like temper tantrums, just out of control, but she was funny. And Casey was the child where you're walking down the street and hoping and praying she doesn't say something to embarrass you if she saw somebody different. You know, you're just, oh God, please don't say it. Please don't, because she was that child. And she would say it loud.
Oh my God, the first conversation was actually pretty funny because I used to wear like glasses and they were so big. And so like I hated wearing my glasses, but I had to see, of course. And so we were sitting next to each other and I couldn't see, I was squinting. And so then I just put on my glasses. And I think Casey saw my glasses and she started laughing at me. Nobody else can hear her, but I can hear her. And I'm like, I can't believe this girl is laughing at me about my glasses. So I turned around and I'm just like, are you laughing at me? And she just like, yes. And she's still like cracking up. So I'm like, okay, I can't do nothing but laugh because it is funny. So and that's how we became friends, honestly. She laughed at me because I had to put on my glasses.
She had this obnoxious laugh, and so it almost made awkward situations more awkward because you're laughing at her laugh because it was just, oh, it was so ugly, but it was great. It was so obnoxious, but yeah, she's very sarcastic, very quick to roast somebody. That's great. But her laugh was disgusting, but it was great.
Everybody's in there, K9, Cadam, everybody's there, and we had a new command chief, a new base commander, so like it's all new, and they come out and they're like, we just want you to let you know that a plane went down yesterday. And it was just like, it's just not fair, you know? Like,
It wasn't fair. I would send her a package every other week. I was planning on baking her brownies and sending those. I wish that I could be with you to say Happy Mother's Day and give you a hug and kiss. Obviously, I can't. Just know that if you weren't the incredible mother that you are, I would not be able to be in boot camp right now. If it weren't for you steering me in the right direction and constantly correcting me even when I didn't want to hear it, I would not be the person I am today. I owe it all to God for placing you in my life. I love you so much, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. Casey.
For Christmas one year, Casey got one of those big remote control Escalade cars, and they came in this obnoxious size box. The box was empty in her room, and she had called me upstairs to her room. So I take the box with her in and I drag it to the staircase and I turned her around so she could see through the clear plastic that I brought her to the stairs, and I just like floated her down one step. And she started laughing because she didn't think I was gonna let the box go, and I just let it go. Just watched her fly down like 14 steps and just bam into the front door. And she was like still for a moment. I was like, oh God, what'd I do? But I couldn't help but laugh because it was so funny. And then you just see the box start shaking because she's in there cracking up. There was like no sound, but she's just laughing the whole time. It was so funny. So yeah, she would try to prank me, but I'm the bigger sister.
Casey, that problem child as a little toddler and on, it turned out to be pretty independent and strong. So she did her own research. Like, she weighed the options, and like, she was mature in that way. So she, did her research and made the best decision for herself. Yeah, and I think like for me, I guess in kind of an arrogant kind of way, being a Marine, I was like, oh, it's the Air Force. Like, should be all right. It's like 6 weeks. What is it?
8 weeks. It's 8 weeks of basic training. That's actually the first time I met Ruiz during a run. At the very end, you finally make it, and it's a 5K fun run. And there we were in the back together running, and it was fun. I enjoyed basic. You get to do a lot of things that I don't think a lot of people experience, and that's incredible.
She loved everything about being in the Air Force, like from going to basic training to the tasing, and when they had the dog biter, everything. She was just loved it, and she used to share those things with us, on social media.
Yell Margaret Thatcher, just saying. Yeah, I tried.
Taser, taser, taser.
Oh, fuck! Oh my God!
But she said that was cool. She loved that. She loved being tased. She loved when the dog chased after her and was attacking her. She loved everything about it.
When she did that, she thought it was the funniest thing. I'm like, Casey, you're literally getting attacked by a freaking dog. Like, what is so funny about that?
I mean, it was funny when I tried it in Boston too. I was laughing.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you did that too. Yeah. Yeah, but she was, I don't know, everything that she did. Even when she got tased.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. When she got tased, it was funny.
And she was like, Mom, it hurt so bad, but it was so fun. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
Because you're not supposed to do it, but it's in a controlled setting, so it makes it fun.
Yeah.
What? Let's make a cool joke.
Ew.
Let me make a cool joke on the radio.
I have amazing memories with her. Like, she truly does love to make fun of people. But it's always in like great, like, she's not being malicious. It's never malicious. It's like, did you see that guy? So she makes this face, right? And it's like,
She was like, she was my mini-me. She was I was the clown, she was the clown. She looked like me. She unfortunately sometimes acted like me. But yeah, she was just a clown.
the military changes you. You come back and you're not the same. And it happens like in stages, right? Like basic, you come back and things are different. Your first year, you come back and things are different. And it's like that first deployment, I think you come back and things are really different, And we were always together. So when we got to Hanscom, we both were put on nights, but we were put on different flights. She would come at like 11 at night when things slowed down and spend hours. We would sit at the gate shack and like lay up and look at the stars and talk about like life and how things were changing and our views were changing. And that was 4 times a week, the both of us, back and forth. There was always so much time together. and she gets tasked to go to Afghanistan. And this was actually a coveted deployment. Like, everybody was like, oh, doing flyaways in Afghanistan, like, you're gonna have so much fun, you're gonna travel all over, it's gonna be, like, incredible. You know, we were in ABUs before, and you're gonna be in different uniforms, and it's just gonna be a great time.
The thought of Casey going, it's scary. Like, it's not a normal office job. Granted, anything can happen at anywhere, any place in time, but those possibilities become exponentially greater in different scenarios. So I knew she wanted to do it. So I knew she wasn't quite ready to go to school yet, but at least she was doing something and she was excited to do it. So I was happy for her. I don't know. You don't think of those things happening to your family either. So I don't know.
Right before she deployed, I went up, spent the day with her, and went to eat, and she got this big, obnoxious apple pancake. Man, it was like, yeah, I don't know how she ate that, but then we went shopping, hung out for a little bit, met some of the people she was going with, and then, I gave her a hug and a kiss, and I went home. I went back to Philly.
I was able to call her, text her, send pictures. It felt normal in that sense. She used to always tell me about like the Afghani civilians that worked on base and how they always would say that she looked like them. And
She used to love like the sunsets there. She used to send me pictures of those. Those were beautiful. She loved being there. She was just like, the city itself is not really much to look at because of all the war and stuff. But like I would say like the land and the terrain and just being there, she loved the aspect of just being like across the country. Like she loved being there, doing what she was doing.
Initially, I tried to run away. We were constantly just trying to get away from it all.
I went through my bottles of scotch, man. I ain't gonna lie, I did have law school, and I was working, so, there were 14 to 16 hour days that I could occupy my mind with something and not have to deal with it.
I drank a lot. I drank a lot. And I don't drink anymore at all now because of like how bad that time was.
When it first happens, there's gonna be a ton of support. There's gonna be a lot of people around, but as time goes by, people naturally go back to their lives, and, it's to be expected. And then it's gonna get quiet. And when it gets quiet, it can get dark. It can consume you and take you in bad directions.
We're all lined up, and the first body comes off the plane. And the story, right? Nobody knew who anybody was at first. And it was is that her? As one goes by, is that her? And I think they had brought home some other people, and it was just standing there she's in one of these, and this is it. This is what we have left of her.
Given the circumstances of her death, none of the bodies were immediately identifiable. So they had to go through that process of DNA testing in Dover, Delaware, and we waited. It's probably less than a week before they positively identified her body, and then her body was flown here to Georgia for services.
She was my best friend. It was my little sister. You know, her laugh is a big part of how I remember her. Her personality is a big part of how I remember her. She was goofy, and you weren't ever upset around her. I mean, maybe I was when we were growing up. She would, you know, get on my nerves as my little sister, but I mean, I'm thankful for that relationship. I'm thankful I had a close relationship with my sister, because I know people who aren't close to their siblings, and it blows my mind, but thinking about all the positive things around her and experiences that we had, and yeah, it's important for me to hold on to those because it's all I have now.
When I moved here, I started pulling out pictures, but I couldn't look at them. See, my whole hallway is loaded with pictures. I would walk straight ahead, not look, for a long time. And then as time went on, I started pulling out more pictures because I was afraid I was gonna forget.
I would say I probably dream about her at least 2 to 3 times a week. And it hasn't waned at all in the 8 years she's been gone. So, yeah, I still hear her laugh, and I still hear her call me dad the way she used to call me dad. So, yeah, she's with me.
It's like you get around people, right? And they bring light to you. Like, she's never someone who brings struggle, right? She never was like, here are my problems and I'm gonna put them on you. It was, how can I make you feel better? What is it that I can do to like uplift you? She's an uplifting spirit, you know? And she meant so much to so many people.
Casey was the first friend that was not afraid to just be like, Tevin, I know that you're gay, and tell me like, oh, hey, it's okay. I accept you no matter way, like however you are. I will never forget that, and I will always love her for that.
I think it would be important for her to know how much I admired her throughout life. And I've always been proud of her.
I think about her all the time. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about her. Sometimes it's just her face. Sometimes it's a situation. Sometimes a song will come on and I think of her. Even though I will be sad forever, I won't let it dictate my day. I had to make a conscious effort to choose joy.